in the third sea, the very first NPC that we got here is the experienced captain, and this guy basically just takes you back to the second sea when you talk to him. Then we've got an NPC called the fisherman who's wearing this huge yellow coat. This is where you can get a fishing rod and 10 basic baits by just talking to him. Anyways, moving on to the Hydra Island, the next NPC that we got here is the arena trainer. And this NPC actually has a really cool quest. When you talk to him, he's gonna let you fight against an NPC called the training dummy. And when you kill the training dummy NPC, you actually get your hands on 22,000 belly, 40 million XP, as well as 200 fragments for free. And this is actually a pretty good way to get your hands on some fragments without putting in much effort. But be careful when you fight this guy because he regenerates his health really fast. You're gonna have to keep comboing the crap out of him. Next up on the same island, we also got the angler NPC. This guy's available in like pretty much every sea, so I've definitely talked about him before. And this guy sells you a bunch of different fishing rods and a bunch of other baits, way more than the fisherman. Moving on to the Dragon Dojo, the first NPC that I'm going to talk about here is the Dojo Trainer NPC. This guy's basically going to give you a bunch of quests that's going to let you get your hands on some pretty cool rewards. But keep in mind, to talk to this guy, you have to have a 500 mastery on the Dragon Talon fighting style. So it's probably going to take a while before you can talk to this guy. And this is actually the NPC you get your dojo belts from, and each belt actually has a different rarity. The next NPC that I got here is called the Dragon Wizard, who's also located at the Dragon Dojo. And this guy's the NPC that you talk to when you want to get your hands on the Draco race. You can also get your hands on an ability called Dragon Feather. We also got an NPC called the Dragon Hunter, and to talk to this guy, you have to have your Dragon Talon and at least the 500 mastery, same as the other guy. And you also have to get your hands on the yellow belt from the Dojo Trainer. And another requirement is that you also have to have a Dragon Fruit equipped in. And when you talk to him, he basically just gives you a bunch of quests to get your hands on some pretty cool rewards. Moving on, we got an NPC called Uzoth, and this is the NPC you can talk to upgrade your Dragon's Breath into Dragon Talon, which is literally the V2 version of that fighting style. And to do that, you need to get a 400 mastery on Dragon's Breath and also pay Uzoth a total of 3 million belly and 5,000 fragments. You also need to get an item called Fire Essence, which you do by rolling random surprises from the Death King, which is an NPC I will get to later. Moving on from the Dragon Dojo, we're heading over to the Great Tree, and at this island you can talk to an NPC called the Crew Captain, which I've also mentioned before in previous videos. He's basically the guy you want to talk to if you want to expand your crew. Now we're moving on to the Floating Turtle Island, where there's going to be a butt ton of NPCs. The first guy here is the Crypt Master, and this guy's a part of the quest to get your hands on the Cursed Dual Katana. And to talk to him, you obviously need to get your hands on the Yama and Tushida swords and have at least a 350 mastery on both of them, which is pretty crazy. And then we got an NPC called the Previous Hero, and this is the NPC you talk to if you want to get your hands on the Electric Claw fighting style. And to get your hands on Electric Claw, you need to have at least a 400 mastery on the normal electric fighting style, and you need to also pay him a bunch of belly and fragments. Then we got the Ancient Monk, which gives you one of the most overpowered fighting styles in the game, the God-Human fighting style. And to get it, you literally need to have like a 400 mastery on every other fighting style in the game.
What kind of place is this?
Which makes it one of the most difficult fighting styles to get. The only one that comes close is like Sanguine Art, but honestly I think this one is way harder. Moving on, we got an NPC called the Hungry Man, and this is the NPC you want to talk to if you want to upgrade your instinct to V2. Which makes it a little bit better because you can literally see everything your opponent has equipped in, like literally every fruit, sword, gun, and fighting style. Also gives you some other pretty cool buffs. After that, we got the Hornman, and when you complete this guy's quest, you can get your hands on the Rainbow Hockey color, which looks really cool in my opinion. But you do have to kill like a total of 5 bosses, but it shouldn't take that long. After that, we got an NPC called Barista, and you can find him inside the mansion. And this is basically the guy you want to talk to if you want to change your hockey skins, aka your aura skins. You can also change your dragon skins and your eagle skins. So if you want to talk to him, just make sure you head over to the mansion. Moving on, we're heading over to the Haunted Castle Island, and the first NPC I'm going to talk about here is the Death King, because I mentioned him previously. The Death King is an NPC that you roll surprises from, and he was actually added during a Halloween event, but the community loved him so much they decided to make him a permanent addition. Basically, to roll surprises from the Death King, you need to kill a bunch of skeletons, get your hands on bones, and you need to pay him 50 bones to roll a surprise. And you can get things from fragments, belly, to an item called Fire Essence, which you need to upgrade your Dragon's Breath fighting style. Then we got an NPC called Weird Machine, who's actually a part of the Skull Guitar puzzle, and that lets you get your hands on one of the most overpowered guns in the game. After that, we got the Ghost NPC, who's also part of the same puzzle, and we also got the Gravestone NPC, which you can literally just pray to try and get your hands on some cool awards. Moving on to the Sea of Treats Islands, here we got an NPC called the Sick Scientist. The Sick Scientist is an NPC that you can talk to buy the Phoenix Raid microchips, which basically just lets you get Phoenix V2. Then we got the Cake Scientist, which is an NPC you can talk to get your hands on any advanced raid chips. And the most popular one is the Dough Fruit, because it's a V2 is really a huge upgrade. Then we got the Drip Mama NPC, which basically just lets you enter the mirror dimension and fight the Cake Prince or the Dough King, depending on how you want to do the quest. But fighting the Cake Prince is way easier, but the Dough King gives way better rewards. We also got the Sweet Crafter NPC, who is basically just gonna let you craft an item called the Sweet Chalice. Moving on to the castle on the sea island. In this island, you got pretty much every single NPC you could ever look for. I'm not even going to waste time explaining every single one of them because you guys should already know about these guys. We got the Plokester NPC who lets you reset your stat points. We got a Butler NPC with the Mysterious Scientist. We got Takamura. Takamura NPC is the one who lets you get your hands on an item called the Jaw Shield after completing a bunch of quests that you take from him. Then we got the Aura Editor who basically just lets you edit your Aura stage. Then we got Fiona the Reformed who lets you equip the Death Step fighting style. Then we got the Water Kung Fu teacher who lets you equip Water Kung Fu. Then we got the Dark Step teacher who lets you equip Dark Step. We got the Mad Scientist who gives you the Electric fighting style. Then we got the Sharkman teacher who we can equip Sharkman Karate. Then we got the Martial Arts teacher who lets you equip the Superhuman fighting style. Then we got Sabi who lets you equip Dragon's Breath. After that we got the Elite Hunter who lets you take some pretty cool quests. Then we got the Player Hunter who also gives you some quests. Then we got the Remove Blox Fruit NPC who basically just lets you remove your Blox Fruit. Pretty self-explanatory. Moving on to the next island, which is Tiki Outpost, we got a bunch of NPCs here, and a lot of people actually don't even know about most of these. The first NPC we got on Tiki Outpost is the Shafi NPC, and this is the NPC that you can learn the Sanguine Art fighting style from. Then we got the Dragon Talon Sage, who can spawn in a bunch of random locations around the map, and Tiki Outpost is one of the places that he can spawn at. And this guy basically just lets you get your hands on a bunch of scrolls. You can get the Common Scroll, the Rare Scroll, the Legendary Scroll, or the Mythic Scroll. Then we got the Beast Hunter NPC, and when you talk to this guy, you can craft a total of 3 different accessories from him. The first one is the Leviathan Crown, then we got the Leviathan Shield, and after that we got the Beast Hunter. And the Beast Hunter is the most difficult one to craft because you need to pay him a bunch of super rare items. You need to give him 20 Leviathan Scales, 6 Electric Wings, 2 Mutants Teeth, 30 Fool's Gold, and 6 Shark's Teeth, which is gonna be really hard to get your hands on. After that we got an NPC called the Shark Hunter, who also lets you craft a bunch of items, including the Shark Tooth Necklace, the Terror Jaw, as well as the Monster Magnet. After that we got the Spy NPC, who's located all the way at the top, and if you pay him a total of 1,500 fragments, you're basically just gonna bribe him, and what that does is it basically just increases the chances of the frozen dimension spawning. And if you bribe him like 4 times in total, which costs a total of 6,000 fragments, it increases the chances by a good amount. After that, we got an NPC called the Shipwright Teacher, and when you talk to this NPC, you can learn a player subclass called the Shipwright. But to be qualified for it, you have to kill a total of 20 sharks. And once you do that, you're gonna get your hands on the Legendary Scroll, and then you can buy the subclass for a total of 3,000 fragments. After that, we got an NPC called the Submarine Worker, who can basically just teleport you to different islands at a fixed price. And this is the NPC you talk to head into the submerged island. And you might think that's literally like every island in the third sea, but there's a secret one called the Mirage Island. And this island basically just spawns in at a random time in the middle of the sea. And on this island, you can find an NPC called the Advanced Fruit Dealer, who's basically like the normal Blox Fruit Dealer, but has a way higher chance of having everything in stock, making him like one of the best NPCs in the whole game. And that's pretty much it.